My fellow students, there is a plethora of information out there, but not all of it is the whole story. A reported 62% of all adults get their information from social media, and that information is in fact fake news. Now, fake news is a loose term, but media scholar Renee Hobb lists 6 different types of fake news: disinformation, propaganda, hoaxes, satires and parodies, inaccuracies, and partisan news. These forms are used to mislead and manipulate the reader into believing what the writer wants you to think. Media bias is not a new phenomenon. In fact, it can be traced back as far as George Washington having lies made up about him by the Anti-Federalist newspaper that he was leaving office. In June of this year, CNN, a trusted source, was forced to take down an article that claimed that the Senate was investigating a link between a Russian bank and a close ally of Donald Trump. Also in June of this year, the New York Times was forced to take down an article that had to do with the Russian election meddling story. These so-called trusted sources have been found to release disinformation into the public. How can we as a society trust these sources if they continue to release misinformation into the world? Media is a necessity. Media is used by most to get information. Media cannot always be trusted. As a high school student, I look to these sources on a day-to-day basis. If it's not for an essay or a history project or just an interest in anything general. When I look at this misinformation, I am misled, and my opinion on any one topic is swayed. This is an issue. When most people think of fake news, they think of Fox News. In fact, a recent report made by Fox News, by a Fox News correspondent, claimed that there are alligators on people's back doorsteps, there are sharks swimming on the highway. This claim was later debunked, referring to Hurricane Harvey.
I've seen some amazing things out there just looking at television over the weekend. Alligators on people's back doorsteps. I saw a shark on a highway swimming in the water. Like Sharknado. I saw a hawk sitting in someone's taxi cab.
Despite the continued misinformation, Fox News is a source that has not been called out by our president, but the affirmation sources such as CNN and the New York Times are continually called out for these 1 or 2 mistakes. These calls against the media outlets have been made by our own president, Donald Trump. Donald Trump has gone in a so-called battle with sources such as CNN. This back and forth has produced an environment where unbiased media cannot exist. Every outlet has an opinion, and that opinion is expressed through skewed facts in the hope that the reader will change their opinion, usually on these politics. It is not just one media source, but it is all media sources. Some media sources are known for using media bias more than others, but they all do it. The original point of media was to inform the public, but it has now morphed into reporters trying to share their opinion. Media creates bias. Bias is created by media. These media outlets will continue to obscure facts and change your opinion, and they put this misinformation above just reporting the news. Media bias exists, and I want you all to understand that. As high school students, you need to have media literacy. Media literacy is the ability to discern what is biased and what is not biased news when consuming it. I urge you to understand the motivation behind certain articles being posted. As a high school student, you will absorb a lot of information, and your understanding of something can be skewed by these sources. You and I and everyone base their opinions on the information they consume. It does not just lead to a misunderstanding. It can lead to war between a conflict of ideas that is misrepresented in the news. And know this, even the most trusted sources can have misinformation. So it is pertinent that you are vigilant, because you cannot have your opinion skewed. The information you absorb must be true, because if not, your opinion on a matter is baseless and invalid. Teenagers are the future, and are the only people that will make change in this world. And if this fundamental change is based off misleading information that you read in high school, the world will not get better, but worse. So I urge you, please understand what you're reading, for it may not be the whole story.